This is WWJ-TV, Detroit.
Where did you see this place, Jimbo?
We've always believed in brewing our beer just one way, the natural way, to deliver a light, smooth taste.
Come on and write your own words and show your own colors. Come on, America, sing your own song. You're one of a kind, so step out from the others. It's people just like you that made America strong.
Bush, when you believe in what you're doing.
Nurses get a shot on the wallet and films of a school skirmish at 11.
The following program is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports, the network of the Olympics.
It's day number 8 of the 12 Days of Innsbruck, the continuing story of the 12th Winter Olympic Games. Tonight you'll see the gold medal performance in men's figure skating. Will it be John Curry, the leader going in, becoming the first Englishman ever to win the men's event? Can Toller Cranston, the poet on ice, skate well enough to pull up into a medal position? We'll find out on tonight's program. West Germany's Rosie Mittermeier, already winner of the women's downhill, tries for another medal in the slalom. Challenged by such people as America's Cindy Nelson. Cindy, who took a bronze medal in the downhill just the other day. Diane DeLue is from Los Angeles but skates from Holland. She's the world champion but trails Dorothy Hamill from Connecticut. Dorothy in a good position as they move to the second phase of women's skating. And in the high plateau near Seefeld, America's new cross-country star, Bill Koch, will be running in the men's relay race, one of the most unusual events in the Games. Welcome again to the Winter Olympics. The 12th Winter Olympic Games are brought to you by Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers throughout the country who invite you to test drive America's largest family of small cars. Nobody has a lineup like Chevrolet. By the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more good years in your car. And by America's bankers, helping you change things for the better. A funny thing happened in Innsbruck today. The sun didn't shine. For the first time since we've been here, it was cloudy, overcast, there was drizzling some places, and light snow in others. Hello, I'm Jim McKay, speaking to you again by satellite from our ABC anchor position here at the Winter Olympics. You know, when we talk about how well the Americans are doing, perhaps you wonder, if you're not too acquainted with winter sports, why we say that when they've only won 8 medals overall so far and 1 gold medal. Well, the reason is that the United States has never been a power in the Winter Olympics. The most medals we've ever won overall was 12, and that was in Lake Placid in 1932 on our home grounds. So the Americans are doing fine. The Russians, of course, and the East Germans are way ahead as far as the unofficial medal count is concerned. It was a very representative performance, and tonight we're going to see more of it. As we said at the top, we're going to see ladies skating, Dorothy Hamill trying to take step 2 on the road to a gold medal. We're going to see the finals of men's figure skating, and that women's slalom contested at 2 runs. We'll see that event from start to finish today. It's all concluded in 1 day. A very busy time. We're going to start off by going to the Olympia Ice Stadion. Over there, men's figure skating. Remember, this is the final round, and we're going to join Chris Schenkel and Dick Button. Okay, gentlemen?
On the ice at the Olympic Stadium, halfway through his final 5-minute program of free skating, former world champion Jan Hoffmann of East Germany, third behind Sergei Volkov and the leader John Curry in the battle for the medals. Jan Hoffmann, 20 years old, living in Karl-Marx-Stadt in East Germany.
Superb jumper. Back and arm positions, not quite as they could be, although they've improved tremendously. Watch this jump combination. Now watch him step into triple toe loop right there. Very beautiful.
Tremendous athlete who, at 12 years of age, competed in the 1968 Olympic Games at Grenoble. Dick and I covered. Remember his finishing 26th at that young age. Now in third, trying for one of the 3 medals in this Olympiad.
He is not what is generally accepted as a complete skater, meaning that he has superb style along with and choreography along with his jumping ability. His spins have not been great. The jumping part of them has. But as a spinner, for example, he doesn't compare to America's Ronnie Robertson from the 1950s. We have to wait to see how John Curry does. But look at this. First single axle. I know he had planned a double axle there. If John Curry can perform well, I think they'll be highly doubtful if this boy could pull into first place.
And behind Jan Hoffmann in fourth is Vladimir Kovalev, another Soviet Union skater.
This is his final move, a sit spin. He was not outstanding in the last moments of his program there. I certainly see a sigh of relief on his face that it's all over, don't you?
Yes, I noticed earlier that he was limbering up that knee that had been operated on where he missed a whole season earlier.
That's an extremely difficult thing to do, to come back after a year off. Here is slow motion now on Jan Hoffmann in that jump combination. First, like a 1.5 flip. And now stepping back into a triple toe loop. Look at the height that he gets at. By the way, his marks range from a 5.8 to a 5.9 on technical merit and a 5.5 to a 5.8 on his artistic impression. Very high marks. But that, incidentally, right there was a beautiful move. Slightly badly pulled out at the end, but showed the high spring that this boy gets. Excellent skating.
Now the standings through the short program in men's figure skating. In first position, John Curry of Great Britain. Second, Sergei Volkov of the Soviet Union. Third, Jan Hoffmann of East Germany. Fourth, Vladimir Kovalev of the Soviet Union. In fifth position, Tyler Cranston of Canada. Sixth, David Santee of the United States. And in 10th position, Terry Kubica, the American champion. Terry Kubica, the United States champion. He'll be performing soon because he's up next. But before that happens, let's learn more about this young man from Cypress, California, up close and personal. Here's Jim McKay.
Terry Kubica first became a national skating personality when he performed a triple Lutz. Double and triple jumps are the strongest part of his skating today. Coupled with a warm audience contact, they give him a chance for a medal at Innsbruck. But it won't be easy against the Russians Kovalev and Volkov, Tyler Cranston of Canada, England's John Curry, and little Jan Hoffmann of East Germany.
How's the short going? Short program.
Not too bad, but...
Coach Evie Scottbold has been Terry's friend and confidant almost as long as the skater can remember.
Going to it from the spin and all. I don't think our friendship has, like, bothered that in any way, because I know that he will get on my back an awful lot. Like, he knows that it'll get me to work more when he gets on my back and yells at me and says I'm not doing this or that. But then, even after the 9 years I've been with him and all the hard times and good times I've had with him, I still respect him as my coach and professional.
How's the flip? You getting the work on the floor all right, or?
No, not really. I should try to get some more time on the floor.
Yeah, that'll help. Keep you from breaking your neck.
The back flip will be Terry's crowd-pleasing move in Innsbruck. It's been done in ice shows and exhibitions for some years, but never in world competition. It represents a gamble on Kubica's part. If the international judges like it, it could bring him a medal and change the course of skating development around the world. If they don't like it, it would be a major setback to his career.
I have a feeling deep down that whatever has happened or is going to happen is meant to be. You know, it's just like, say I had a bad day or bad competition, I don't feel like I should fret about it. I just feel things are meant to be, and they'll happen the way they're supposed to be. And I just can't really see anybody doing anything without a strong faith in God.
And now, the United States champion, 10th coming into this final 5-minute performance, Terry Kubica.
And what he has got to do is the same thing that he did in the national championship, and that is to get the crowd going, to skate brilliantly, to pull himself up. He's way down in 10th place, but then he was way down in the national championships too, and he was able to pull it off. He has been doing a back somersault in skating, something that we've seen in professional competition, but not in amateur competition. We'll see if he does that towards the end of his program.
Was strong in the figure skating portion of last year's World Championships at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs.
There's an opening triple salchow. Now, look at how quietly he takes these opening moves. He's not pushing, he's not rushing. He has a whole series of triple jumps planned.
19 years old, Cypress, California.
Watch this next combination now coming up. Very difficult combination. Triple flip. First, and watch him step right out of it. Triple flip, mazurka, and double axel. That shows extraordinary control. I think he's going to get the audience, going to get the position with him, and I think he'll pull up dramatically as a result of what he can do here. Flying Cal, now jump over to board Sitzman, taking it very slowly, very carefully. Now that triple Lutz, this is particularly difficult from this position. That was a beauty.
Loves the crowd. You see that great expression on this young man's face.
He always gets the audience going with him. He's a very charismatic skater, very, very much so.
Now it's beginning.
One of the problems here is that the judges have not left much room above those marks given to Jan Hoffman, so that he does not have much room to pull himself up in.
He's looking into the crowd, loving every minute of it here. Into the final 3 minutes of this 5-minute performance.
Another triple jump right there.
Ooh, he uses all the ring.
Slight wide foot there, free foot. Flying camel. Watch him lay the position over now. No, elected not to.
Skating to the music of their choice. Holly Holy, Play Me, Jesus Christ Superstar.
Double salchow. Very much more mature effect to his skating than we've seen in the past. Now watch him step out of this spread eagle. Right here, for a double salchow. The national championships, that was a triple salchow. I think he's being conservative here after having done so many superb jumps. Now watch this.
Well, let's see. We're coming up to the final minute now of this 5-minute performance. Dick, do you think we can look for the backflip?
Oh, I think so. First, look at this combination right here. Double axel.
Dick, he just proves you have to be a fine athlete to do what he's doing.
Oh, he's beautifully coordinated. Delayed axle.
30 seconds.
And if he's going to do that back flip, it's going to be right here. Yep, here it comes. Here it is right here. Now watch this. Almost fell out of it, but got it done. And boy, does that bring a roar to the audience here.
28,000 hands clapping.
Now watch him pull off into his Arabian butterflies. And he's got this audience absolutely going.
Wunderbar, wunderschön, as you say in Innsbruck. Yes, standing ovation. Terry Kubica of the United States. He has to be very pleased with what he did here in the 5-minute program.
Okay, now, here's the back flip in slow motion that Terry Kubica does in amateur competition for the first time. Watch him swing it up, pull himself up and over, and land. Right there. Very low, touch the ice slightly, but it's a trick. It's a marvelous characteristic jump. And look at the smile already on his face. Okay, here are the marks. 5-8, right across the board. 5-9 for judge number 6, and 8 and 9. That's the Soviet Union and East Germany. Okay, there's the second set of marks. Now the audience booing these marks, starting with 5-1 from Canada, going on to a 5-6, 5-7, 5-9 from the United States. This mark was for artistic impression. Now, Canada's given her a low mark. The rest of the judges are fairly lower than the first mark, but remember, it's for artistic impression, and he wasn't as strong in that element as he has been in the magnificent jumps that he does. Audience does not like it here.
Start your day with a tingle. I'm Sue.
Helping you change things for the better.
Hey, Terry, you really get the audience going.
Oh, thank you very much.
What'd you think of the way you skated?
Well, I was pleased overall, but there were a few shaky spots I felt.
Where?
There was a missed triple sow cow, and the backflip was a little rough tonight.
What's been the reaction of everybody on that backflip?
Well, I've really been pleased with the reaction because the first time it was seen to judges, they really criticized it as being a circus move and not allowed and all. But I really haven't heard any comeback at this competition. You know, they more or less accepted it as a original move, I think.
Well, maybe we'll be seeing a lot more of them. One further question. You got higher marks at the beginning than you did at the second set of marks. Your reaction seemed to be a little bit of a shock a shocked expression on your face when we were televising you. What did you think?
Well, I was expecting them to be lower in the artistic impression, but I was pleased overall, I guess. I thought they were a little low, but overall I was happy with the marks.
Well, you're a very exciting skater and just a terrific performer, and many thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much, Dick.
This world crowd waiting with anticipation. They'll watch with you all the speed, athletic jump spins, and artistry of figure skating. Skaters from many nations. The ice stadium in Innsbruck, and on the ice, number 1, John Curry of Great Britain, lives and trains in the United States, going for a gold right now.
And he certainly has the audience with him. An elegant skater, musical, glorious line. Opening triple toe, Wally right, triple toe loop. Oh, that was neat, clean, light. Wally jump, double flip. Nice. Look at the line coming out of the jumps. Triple jump right here. That was a beauty.
He is skating to Don Quixote.
Look at him step into this forward camel. The control here. A very easy skater. One of the finest stylists in the classical tradition that I've ever seen. Triple loop jump here. Good boy. And that 3 triple jump form, I smile on his face, one of the few times that you ever see it. Look at the line, the elegance all the way through every inch of his skating.
Up to now, you've seen the skater
Look at this,
number 3.
back into that, right from that position. The slowness of it, that is just extraordinarily beautiful.
Remember earlier, you saw Jan Hoffmann in number 3. You have yet to see the skater in number 2 position from the Soviet Union, Sergei Volkov. Now it's all John Curry.
Look at that. Extraordinary. Never succumbs to pure theatrics. Everything done from beginning, with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Watch this. Double axel. Opening up the flow out just as fast as the entrance to the jump. Very difficult to do. Look at the position, the back, the straightness of it. And in the opposite direction. A sit spin in the opposite direction. We've never seen skaters here do this kind of thing.
What an artist.
Double Lutz coming up. Right here. You know, he is on. He is so on that this is just extraordinary. There's no doubt about it. I think that this boy will, you know, skate right into it. We've still got to see Toller Cranston, who skates in a totally different style. From the elegance and classicism of this boy, he moves on into an exoticism.
Take a dig. This is as fine as you've seen him skate.
Just light. Such positions. Final move coming up. Look at this spread eagle. Now watch him step right up. Do a double axel. Oh, beauty! Really one of the finest moments of skating I have ever seen, and he knows it. Absolutely. One of the finest, most beautiful moments of skating that I have ever seen.
And there come the flowers from both sides of this magnificent ice stadium in Innsbruck. John Curry, the present European champion, who trains and lives in the United States, Denver and New York, sponsored by an American patron of sports, Ed Mosler. There's the British flag, the smile of perhaps victory.
Look at slow motion of John Curry as he glides sinuously right here, pulling himself over the marks, over the ice. Just glorious, just glorious. Now watch him go into this fine move. Incidentally, his marks have just come up. They are 5/8 and 5/9 right across the line. But watch this spread eagle. Look at the line, the lean, absolutely perfect. And this is at the end of a 5-minute program. Now watch him take 1 3-turn and step up into a double axel. Most skaters are exhausted at this moment. Right here. Step up. Beautiful. Open up long before he lands and come down and look at the line and position right there. Just superb. Okay, here is the second set of marks. Now again, 5/8 right across the board. Only one exception, judge number 1 from Canada, who gave a 5/8 the rest. Pure 5/9. I think for artistic impression that this is one time, I certainly would have given a 6 if I had been a judge.
Hello, world.
Hello. Hi, Chevrolet.
While we're together at the Olympics.
The Olympic Championships in men's figure skating. It's intermission time, and we've seen great performances already. The last one by John Curry, and the names coming up that are right at the top battling for the medals. Dick Button should make it a second-half show you won't want to miss.
Well, it's a competition that really is one of the best all-around ones that I've ever seen. Certainly the depth of skating here is just marvelous to see. And remember, the competition is by no means over. Tyler Cranston of Canada, you know, just one of the most exotic, bizarre skaters I've ever seen. Beautiful stylist, extraordinary skater. And we've got Sergei Volkov, who is in second place and within shooting distance of a gold medal. It should be, you know, it's just continuing to be one of the best competitions I've ever seen.
Friends, there's a lot yet to come in the finals of the men's figure skating. We'll be back, so at this moment, let's go about 3 blocks from here to our host, Jim McKay. Jim?
How do you like those suits of Chris and Dick? They bought them here in town. They're kind of formal Tyrolean with the green lapels and ties. I think they're kind of nice. A lot more to come. It may sound kind of crazy to say that on a 3-hour primetime program, we're very crowded this evening, but that is the case. There's an awful lot to see. One of the big moments later on, of course, will be the continuation of the battle for the women's gold medal in figure skating between 2 American girls, one of whom is skating for the Netherlands. That, of course, would be Dorothy Hamill and Diane Duluth. Diane, the current world champion, at an age of about 12, decided to skate for Holland because it would be easier to make their team, and that is Diane right there. It would be easier to make their team than it would be to make the American team. Dorothy Hamill from Connecticut, of course, came up the long, hard, difficult way of making the American squad, and it's going to be one of those two. It looks very much like winning the gold medal. Phase 2 of that competition coming up very shortly. It's kind of interesting, I think, that our first 2 sections here have to do with beauty and with very athletic ability.
Here at the Olympic Ice Stadium, final performances of the best men's skaters in the world, and this is one of them. Number 4 coming into these final 5 minutes, Vladimir Kovalev of the Soviet Union.
And what we see here basically so far is a young man who is moving from jump to spin to trick without really the extent of choreography that either John Curry or Tyler Cranston, who we have yet to see, employ in their skating. Less of a complete skater.
And having seen the beauty, the skill, the artistry of John Curry a few moments ago, remember, we still have to see the performances of Sergei Volkov, who's number 2, Tyler Cranston of Canada, David Santee of the United States.
The moves here, very nice, but certainly not in the class with either of the other 2 or 3 top skaters here. Split jump. His technique, unfortunately, has never really been strong, and as a result of that, he has a tendency of pulling his jumps and moves as he goes from one to another. Forcing.
Here at the Ice Stadium, this is Chris Schenkel along with gold medalist Dick Button. Watching with you these marvelous figure skaters from 11 nations competing in the finals.
And that's a final performance from what is apparently a very exhausted Vladimir Kovalev. Here is slow motion now on Vladimir Kovalev as he goes up into a single axle jump. Very nice, but certainly not great. His first mark, incidentally, were very high. They were 5.6, 5.7s, and many 5.8s. A very high mark, and this is his final scratch spin that he did at the end of his program. And here's the second set of marks as they're coming up right now. 5.6s, 5.7s, 5.8s, a 5.9 from the Russian judge, a 5.6 from the East German judge, and a 5.1, of course, at the beginning from the Canadian judge, Miss Dr. Suzanne Francis. I'm afraid I don't understand those marks in comparison to the other skaters.
A few years ago. Well, I'm sure there's no offense intended. And on the ice is Tyler Cranston of Canada, who moved from 7th to 5th, now needs to move up a notch or 2 or 3.
And you can tell you are in for a treat with just these opening steps.
Often said, if Curry is the dancer, this is the artist.
A triple toe loop. He was having trouble with it in practice. He missed it there. But that was a nice one. A triple loop jump. A little bit loose on the end. Look at the position and the control right here. Split, double toe loop, done with a great deal of flair. Look at the extension there, just as he skates a simple back outer edge, stepping now into a double axel. Another one. Moving in. Double Salchow. Look at him step right up into a stag jump and do a double toe loop. Look at the positions here. Extraordinary. Let's jump. Broken leg spin.
This 26-year-old skater, the 1972 Olympic Games, finished 9th, 5th at this moment.
Tyler moving now to triple Salchow. Nice one. He seems to be somehow lacking in the flair tonight that he usually has. Somehow the excitement is not quite there. Perhaps it was because of that miss early in the program. just an extraordinary skater. Watch him now in this camel. Every move followed through to its logical conclusion.
Now in the final 30 seconds.
Double flip jump. Now watch this running camel. Back camel position. Split jumps. Look at the height on these. Beautiful, beautiful. And a flying open camel into a back knee slide. Very, very good. Such an imaginative skater. But I don't think quite up to the quality of the skating that we saw with John Curry. Two different styles, two different methods of skating. Here is slow motion now on Toller Crescent as he goes in to some of these final moves. Look at the split. Beautiful, beautiful, flat level Russian style split as opposed to the turned out, back turned under leg. Just marvelous the way these are done as he reaches towards the extension of the toes. The extension is first rate. Look at that right there. Okay, here are the marks for Toller now. A 5'8" from the Canadian judge, 5'8", 5'7", 5'6" from the United States judge, 5'6". Again, 5'8", 5'8", 5'7" from judge number 8 from the Soviet Union, and a 5'6" from the East German judge, Wahlberger Grimm. Here's the East German judge, judge number 9, Wahlberger Grimm, and the second set of marks now. 5'9" again from Canada, 5'8", 5'8", 5'8". This is for artistic merit, and you'll notice that the American judge number 5 has pulled the mark way up from a 5'3" to a 5'8", only 2 points away from perfection.
This man has worked a long, hard day, and he's got...
This is a 19-year-old from Oak Park, Illinois, who finished second behind Terry Kubika in Colorado Springs in the recent United States Nationals. His mother is here. His father couldn't come, had to work. I'm sure Mr. Santee is enjoying the performance.
Double left jump. Many of these very nice moves, very nice. Watch this, an open flying sit spin. Here it is. Oh, and an unfortunate fall out of that. I think he took it too conservatively. Had he let that move fly the way it's supposed to be done, I think the force of the coming down would have carried him around into it. As it was very conservative and slow, and he faltered on it. Good Russian split here. And a final scratch spin.
David Santee's strenuous performance, indications of all the pressure on these competitors who come from all over the world competing for their country, with gold, silver, and bronze. David Santee from the United States.
Okay, here is slow motion now. David Santee going into that flying open axel sit spin. Watch him throw himself up in almost an Arabian butterfly right up there. Look at the height and the beauty he gets on that. But at this point, he allows the back to drop. See how far it drops? And that has prevented him from being able to control the back sit spin. And at that moment, of course, once he got out of control in the sit spin, it was kind of messy getting out of it. Here are the marks now on David Santee. A 5-5 from the Canadian judge on technical merit. The rest 5-7 across the board except for 1-5-8 from the Russian judge, the Soviet judge. All 5-7s. Ruben Huron, David Santee's coach. The second set of marks, 5-4 from Canada, 5-6 from Hungary, 5-8s, 5-6s, 2 5-6s, a 5-5 from judge number 6, that's France. Remember, this is artistic merit. His artistic merit was certainly not in the same class with either Curry or Cranston.
Ah, the fresh perk flavor of ground roast coffee.
We hardly knew each other.
There is the current world champion, Sergei Volkov of the Soviet Union, warming up, and he'll be skating next. He's from Moscow, and let's learn more about him up close and personal. Here's Jim McKay.
At home these days, Sergei Volkov looks like a young man with few problems. At age 26, he's happily married to a pretty girl named Ludmila and is a prominent figure in the Soviet Union, the first Russian to win the men's World Figure Skating Championships. Although their pairs have been dominant for a decade now, Soviet single skaters have had a slower road to the top. Even now, there's not an outstanding women's single skater in the entire country. Sergei Volkov is not a man with a single interest, not even in sport. Since childhood, he's practiced a lot of sports, including skiing, ski jumping, boxing, wrestling, and marksmanship. He started skating competitively 16 years ago, but the road to the top was slow and halting. He was at the Grenoble Olympics in 1968, but finished 18th. He did not appear at Sapporo 4 years ago. In 1974, he performed in the World Championships in Munich with a broken toe. Last year, he won the world title in Colorado Springs, but within weeks was on crutches, and for a time there was some question as to whether he would skate this year. Volkov, like many Soviet athletes, is a student at the Central Institute of Physical Culture. Here he's studying the kinesiology of sport. The normal road for a Russian sports star is from athlete to coach. It's a chain of progress, leading, in theory at least, to generation after generation of better and better performances. His wife is as involved in skating as Sergei is. She and her brother once were ranked among the top 6 pairs in the country, but now she's an instructor of young children. While her husband practices his 6 hours a day, she teaches. Watch how this little one makes out in her newly learned routine. Can't win them all. Volkov trains these days with Stanislav Zhuk, the most respected Russian skating coach on the international scene. Zhuk and his wife were the first Russian pair to win the European Championship back in 1958. Among the many successful skaters he has coached since were Irina Rodnina and her 2 partners in 7 World Championship victories. Because of the doubts about Volkov's injury and the training time he lost because of it, Zhuk was put on special assignment to train him for the Olympics.
Well, you have just seen what Sergei Volkov is like up close and personal. Now, on the ice.
And he has had a very volatile career in this championship so far. He was 4th at the end of the first figure, 3rd at the end of the second, moved into 1st place, was 5th in the short program, and now enters this part of the competition in an overall position of 2nd place. He has a great deal of lightness, but he's generally been not a charismatic skater. But watch this combination right here. First a triple toe loop, stepping right up into a double toe loop. There's the triple. And he elected not to do the double toe loop. His choice. He's playing it perhaps conservatively. My indicating that he would have done that certainly has no reflection whatsoever upon the way the judges marked him or even saw the program. Oh, a triple Salchow, and he's down. Well, that's going to make this competition very exciting to see where these skaters are going to come out.
Second coming into this final 5-minute performance behind John Curry. And in 3rd, Jan Hoffman. 4th, Vladimir Kovalev. And then Tyler Cranston. He is the reigning world champion.
Skating with a nice amount of speed. Double Salchow. Now a camel spin. As he gets 2 minutes into his program, the next 3 minutes he will have to pull it off if he is going to fight off the challenge of Jan Hoffman. Whether or not other skaters like Cranston or Kubica or the others can pull up. This is a problem for the computers. I would hate to have to guesstimate how this competition will end up after Curry.
Skating tonight to film music, Soviet Moldavia, and folk music, of course. Stick with what you just said. You feel...
And I'm sorry, Chris. A very bad flying Axel Sitzman there. He fell out of that. I think that just adds to what probably...
I was going to ask you.
Exactly. He's just not skating well tonight, and this 5-minute program is a long time and a very difficult thing to do with excitement through the entire program.
In other words, John Curie is in an enviable position.
Double let's jump.
About 2 minutes remaining in Sergei Kovalev's performance. Nikit Volkov.
Skating very conservatively. I know he had planned double axels there, but electing not to do them, perhaps because of the number of mistakes that he has made so far.
As we mentioned, he won the World Championship Colorado Springs last year, but this year, not long ago, he was 5th in the European Championships.
Double toe loop. He is not at this point putting on the performance that is going to lend him great respect from the judges. He's really skating from movement to movement, not doing the double or triple jumps. He just struggled there. Now, this could easily drop him quite a bit in this competition. Double toe loop jump.
This is our very last performer.
He looks very tired. I don't know what it is.
In fact, both Soviet Union skaters look tired.
In the men's competition.
Yes.
And his last move, a flying camel. And that's it for Sergei Volkov. Unfortunately, not an outstanding performance.
Too bad.
Not an outstanding performance. I'm afraid that that's going to drop him quite a way. Here is slow motion now on the early move in Sergei Volkov, that triple salsa. Now watch the landing. Watch the right foot as he lands. You can see it right there. He catches it. It hooks. He doesn't have a clean edge, and it throws him off balance, and that's why he takes this fall. Unfortunate. Now his marks were all 5.5s, 5.6s, that area. He did not do as well as he could have in the marks. He got some very low. Generally, though, it was a lackluster performance, and that's why the marks were of that range.
Well, in just about a minute, we're going to find out who won the gold medal in the men's figure skating competition. Not only that, but there is such a lot coming up tonight. As we said, you'll see Dorothy Hamill in the phase 2 of her quest for the gold medal in women's figure skating. And by the way, you're also going to see a Russian skater. We'll be seeing her for the first time. And no matter how many phone calls we get, I must call her a girl because she is 12 years old and maybe the first great Russian woman figure skater. That is, single skater. She looks a lot like Olga Korbut, could in fact be a new Olga Korbut story beginning here at the 12th Winter Olympic Games. In the cross-country event, the men's relay that you're going to see, not only is that a fascinating and a very interesting event, but there's a great American story in it. It's going to be highlights of what happened in that this morning. So stand by for a lot more to come at the 12th Winter Olympic Games. We'll be right back.
top.
Pass it on, everyone. Tomorrow's children have to carry on.
John Curry becomes the first man from Great Britain to win a gold medal in figure skating. Second, Vladimir Kovalov. Third, Tyler Cranston. Fourth, Jan Hoffman. Fifth, Sergei Volkov. Sixth, David Santee. And seventh, Terry Kubica. Now let's go back to Jim McKay.
All right, Chris, and our congratulations to John Curry, as we said, not only the first American man ever to win the gold medal in Olympic figure skating. I may have said the wrong nationality, I think, there. American, did I say? Well, he does live in Denver, as a matter of fact, but he is, of course, from Great Britain. And the Englishman, first Englishman ever to win the men's figure skating title in the Olympics, first Englishman to win any kind of a medal in the Winter Olympics since 1964. I think one of the lines of the week, by the way, has to be one uttered by an American team doctor. He was talking about the flu epidemic, and someone asked him seriously, what can the athletes do to stay away from this? And he said, avoid crowds. Think about that for a minute. We're going to go now to the relay race in men's cross. Here's that story. Took place at Safeville.
Thank you very much, Jim. There's a special event of electricity here in the air at the Ice Stadium for several reasons, one being that women's figure skating is one of the most dramatic and elegant events of all the Winter Games. And secondly, the anticipation of Dorothy Hamill being on the ice, going once again head-to-head against Diane DeLue for the gold medal. Some of the non-contenders have already skated, and right now, though, Dick, we look forward with a lot of anticipation to a young doll that's about to skate.
And she is 12-year-old Elena Vodorezova of the Soviet Union, a young filly of a skater. She's just marvelous, lovely, you know, great sort of energy and excitement in her skating, and a very sweet little thing. Not unlike, for example, perhaps the early days of Olga Korbut, or the time when Janet Lin captured the hearts of the Japanese. I think we might see that kind of a situation here in Innsbruck. Lovely little skater, and she not only, it's not only her, but also the young American skater, a 15-year-old firecracker from California, Linda Fratiani, we'll be seeing right afterwards. I think these two young girls epitomize the excitement that's in the younger ranks of skating today.
Let's go to the ice and watch the young lady in pigtails. And here is the youngest and tiniest of all the Olympic competitors in these Winter Games, Elena Vodorozova, the Soviet Union.
Young lady now doing the first of her 7 moves in this short program. She almost didn't make the Olympic team because the Russians were afraid that they were advancing her too rapidly. But you can tell by the first move right here, camel lay back into a back camel, down into a sit spin and back up into a camel. Great fluidity of line there. Position still very much like a young girl's, but they're right.
Skating to Taming of Fire.
Double axel, that was a beauty. Look at the height on that. Now she has a double jump combination with a triple toe loop following a double flip. Here it is. There's the double flip and a double toe loop. Not the one that she had hoped to do.
Boy, does that take us back 4 years to Munich and Olga Korbut. Just watching her. Lookalikes.
Mind change since then. Very loose skating. Serpentine step right there. Now her single axel jump. Nice height. And a final spin, a layback. Good position, good stretch and turn out on the leg. A nice performance, and one that is just right for a 12-year-old girl.
And we've been watching her for a week, and she has not lost her childish ways. This sprightly 12-year-old, take a look at her.
Elena Vodorezova, watch her. She steps up into this axel. Look at the way the legs go and the stretch and the pull of them. Very nicely done. Not extraordinary style, but just the kind of style that she should have for being 12 years old. There's a danger in being too good when you're too young. The question is not whether you can play the minute waltz in a minute at 10, but how you play it at 15 and 18. And of course, she's now setting herself up for the 1980 and possibly even 84 Olympic Games. Very nice back position here. Looseness in her skating. Watch her now. She steps into this final spin. Final of her 7 moves, a layback. Nice stretch in the leg. Good leaning. Good layback position. Now watch her switch it over to the side. And now reach down and grab her leg. Pull the skate up towards the back of her head. Very nice. Very right. She's just where she should be for a 12-year-old from the Soviet Union. There's a second set of marks ranging from a 5.0 from the Canadian judge to a high of 5.5 from the Russian judge.
All right, the youngest of them all, and we'll be discussing some of the older, more experienced, some of the champions in the women's figure skating competition, like Diane DeLue and Dorothy Hamill, a little bit later on. But right now, Dick, give us an insight into the short program competition.
The short program counts for 20% of the total score, and primarily it demonstrates 7 specific moves. Even though they are connected by steps and music, it's those 7 moves that are the important thing that the judges are looking for, and this is intended to demonstrate the athletic ability, the technique of the skaters. And the first one we're going to be seeing is really, I can only refer to her as a firecracker. She is. She's Linda Fratianni from the United States. She's one heck of a skater, and she's had speed and drama in her jumps. I think we're going to see a very interesting performance with her right now.
So let's watch the silver medalist in the United States Championships, Linda Fratianni. All right, 5 feet tall, 95 pounds, from the United States, 15-year-old Linda Fratianni. Here she is.
And in comparison, for example, to Elena Vodorezova, this is a 15-year-old girl who is mature and got a great deal of style and self-presence already. You can see it right here in this position and smile on her face.
Attends the Valley Professional School in Marina del Rey, California.
First combination right here, combination spin, forward camel, into a sit spin, into a layback, into a back sit spin. You can see already the tightness in the speed with which she moves. Very, very tight, quick skater. Coming up now to her first jump. Here it is. Double axel. Nice height.
Linda Fratianni, the middle of 5 children, Northridge, California. Father, a criminal lawyer, and mother, once a teacher. The United States Championships, you may remember, she jumped from 4th to 2nd behind Dorothy Hamill.
Jump combination now. First a double flip, double toe loop. Look at how well she took her time with that, how clean it was.
Skating to Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade.
Here's the next move, a serpentine step combination. Looks like her single axel. Final move, a flying axel sit spin.
Linda Fratianni of the United States, who on the inside of her right shoulder, inside the dress, she carries a little packet with 4-leaf clovers she's found and a religious medal for good luck.
Very neat, clean performance. And here's slow motion now on one of the 7 required moves, a double axel. Watch now as she skates from the back outside edge here. Now watch her step up from a left forward outside edge. Look at the arms go back to lift the body. The whole body goes up. Look at the stretch of the leg. 2.5 revolutions. That was a single axel, I'm sorry. One of the required moves, not a double, but very nice height on it.
We'll learn her marks in a minute.
The 12th Winter Olympic Games are being brought to you by Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers throughout the country who invite you to test drive America's largest family of small cars. Nobody has a lineup like Chevrolet. By Quaker State. Quaker State helps avoid expensive engine repairs, keep cars running young. And by Simmons Beauty Rest, the firm mattress with individually pocketed coils for firm compatible support from head to toe.
Lovely girl, very, very nice girl. She's not known as being the strongest free skater, but she certainly is a powerful girl. First move coming up, that very difficult double axel. Here it is. Nice one, slight jar, slight out of control on the landing, but really very good. Here's the second, an axel Zispin, and she, again, almost fell out of that one. She's not checking her landings, either in that or in the first double axel. Here comes a combination now, 2 jumps, one of which must be a double toe loop, double flip, double toe loop.
Skating to Bernstein's Candide.
Camel spin, sit spin, change, back set. Next required move, a single axel jump. Nice, but certainly not done with the speed or the height that she should be doing it with. She's going to win this championship.
Won the compulsories at the 76 Europeans, finished 4th, however, overall.
This is the serpentine step combination.
There's Wendy Burge on the right, looking on. From the United States, Isabelle Denevar from West Germany.
Their final move, a layback spin. Good position right there with the leg, but now it doesn't have the same stretch in this position that it should. Remember the days when Janet Lynn did that with the stretch and turn out?
Very pretty. Isabelle Denevar of West Germany, lives and trains in Garmisch-Partenkirchen.
Nice performance, but not a great one.
And now the capacity crowd awaits the first marks. Here they are.
And as expected, 5 3s, 5 4s, and 5 5. 1 5 6 from judge number 7, and that's the Canadian judge. There is Ralph McCreath, the Canadian judge, former champion himself and an excellent judge. And here are the second set of marks, 5 4s, 5 5s, and a 5 7 from judge number 1, Irina Absalmalova of the Soviet Union. American judge number 2, Yvonne Sherman-McGowan. Judging an event like this, all the figure skating events, is an extremely difficult job. The judges have so much to look for, so much to keep in their mind. Let's go back and take a look at one of the 7 moves that Isabelle Denevar just did in slow motion. And you, as the audience, take a look and put yourself in the judge's position, and we'll see whether or not that was well done or not. Now, watch this slow motion on Isabelle Denevar. Very beautiful leaning edge here, forward inside edge. Now she steps onto a back outside edge, preparatory to stepping up into the double axel. Step on the right foot. Now watch the arms go back and the leg behind, waiting for the thrust to lift her up into the air. Right there, you see very good cross-leg position, tight spin, perfect position right there. At that moment, the free leg comes apart a little bit too much, and there she lands. But you can see that the right shoulder at that moment has come forward instead of being checked back, so that this edge is not quite so curved. She does get it under control and now steps off into a back inside edge, curving around to go on to her next move. Now, we just took 30 seconds to see that one move. It was in slow motion, obviously. What the judges have to do is make their decision in this length of time. And there's that jump done in an instant, and never to be seen by the judges again.
That's world champion Diane DeLue, Dorothy Hamill's top rival for the gold medal, warming up. We'll be back shortly for her performance. Next, second run of women's slalom ski race.
Been head-to-head for the last year and really are the essence of this ladies' competition. And an interesting thing has happened, you know, over the last year. Diane DeLue of the Netherlands, via California, has always been a girl who, although she hasn't been the strongest or best free skater, has been able to put it all together. She's really been on top of herself. She's had it between the ears. She's been able to, you know, do it when the moment counted. But this year in both the Dutch National Championships and in the European Championships, she missed on a triple toe jump that she had. She won't be doing that this afternoon, but will be later. Dorothy Hamill, on the other hand, a year ago, seemed to be a girl who was all at 6s and 7s. And all of a sudden now this year, she seems to be putting it together. So with the better strength that she has in free skating, I think it looks as though we may be seeing something lean in the direction of Dorothy Hamill. I think also it comes out in the way they act here. Dorothy Hamill, very loose, very free. If Dutch television wants to do an interview with her, it takes exactly 3 minutes and the interview is done and it's delightful. With Diane, it's sort of hard. I've been unable to really talk with her or with her coach, Doug Chapman. They've been very secretive. They've been very much alone and to themselves. They've been practicing in Garmisch instead of here. I've had a great deal of trouble in seeing them skate, and I know even Dutch television tells me that they have trouble in getting an interview, that it takes 3 days for them to be able to get to say a few words with her. I think it's almost a Svengali-like approach to the situation here, and it's interesting to see the one being open and one being closed, and the reverse in the emotional attitude towards the skating. I think it's going to show up and be very interesting starting right here in this free skating moment.
Well, Dick, one thing I know for certain, and to all of you, they're both easy to look at. But one thing that confuses me about Diane DeLue, an American and skating for Holland.
Well, it's very simple. She has dual Dutch citizenship through her parents who are Dutch, and primarily because she felt several years ago that she would have an easier route towards a world team championship by going through Holland, which has less of a build-up ladder system than we do. And she made the world team obviously much faster than she would have had she been in the United States. That doesn't say that she's not a good skater. She is.
Does the Dutch team, the managers, do they feel that she's ready and will be at her peak and that she's really Dutch?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about the fact that she's right here. She's proven herself into a very consistent skater up to this point. And I don't think that the Dutch skaters, though, on the other hand, really consider her as being Dutch because, after all, she was born and brought up in California and is an American girl through and through.
Of course, we use a lot of Europeans that kick points after and field goals in American football.
Sure. It's all the way through this event, and why not? After all, this is a competition to determine who is the best skater, and it's not and it shouldn't be a nationalistic kind of event.
So, in a sense, we sort of have two American girls going for the gold.
And let's just hope they both skate well, and then we can really make a judgment about who is the better skater.
The next competitor.
And now, third after the compulsories, the current world and European champion, Diane DeLue of Holland.
Very pretty girl. She's just got to hold it together now.
From Paramount, California. Skating to Stone Flowers.
And here's her first move. Double axel. Nice position on the outflow. And a layback. Good control on that. Here's the serpentine step combination now. This being performed in a huge curving serpentine movement around the ice.
In Dutch, DeLue means the lion.
And her axel sit spin. Her trainers, Doug Chapman, watching. Here's the double jump combination, a double flip into a double toe loop. That was not brilliantly done, but it was neat and clean. Primarily clean. Here she comes now into her single axel jump. Her final move on the ice. First to camel, that was not good right there. Down into a sit spin, position very low, which is not quite right. Back sit spin into a back camel, and a back attitude spin. I think that spin right there might hold her marks down. This was not an outstanding short program, but she did stand up.
20 years old, Diane DeLue, born in Orange County, California, from Paramount, skating for the Netherlands.
And I think really what Dorothy Hamill has now got to do is to stand up through her performance. Basically, she does a better short program than Diane.
Flowers everywhere here at the Olympic Ice Stadium. And
the audience throwing him on the ice, which in my opinion is not a good idea because no one knows what is left on the ice afterwards. Here is slow motion now on Diana. She enters the double axel. Watch. The arms go back, the legs go up. She stops, though, almost as she takes off. Very nice turns there. And opens up really a second too soon. And you can see the right shoulder is really not held back to prevent her from curving quite so strongly in on that edge. Very lovely position right there, though. And there is the first set of marks. Now, this is for the technical merit. And a very interesting thing. Look at judge number 2 from the United States, Mrs. Yvonne Sherman McGowan. The rest all 5.6s and 5.7s. Obviously, I would almost say that I don't think that the 5.7s were deserved from a technical merit in comparison to some of the other girls here. But obviously the judges all thought so, so therefore one has to sit with that standard. I don't think that Yvonne Sherman McGowan was wrong in this instance. There is Yvonne Sherman McGowan of the United States. And a very interesting thing is happening here. Again, now she's gone down to a 5.2, and the audience is booing. The others have all given her 5.7s, 5.6s, and 5.8s. I don't think that one mark will certainly affect the final outcome. It was not, in essence, a strong program, I don't think. It's not a strong program, but yet the other judges are holding her up. So we have to say that the other judges, because they are more consistent, are right, and perhaps we are wrong. There Diane is with her teacher, Doug Chapman. See them, the serpentine best from this angle. Huge curving steps. Overall pattern is in a serpentine around the rink.
In last year's World's Championship, third behind Dorothy Hamill and Diane DeLue.
Here's her single axel. Nice one. And now her combination spin. First a camel, lay back, into a sit spin, change, back up into a leg held back camel. Very neat.
Yes.
Very clean, very nice.
19-year-old from East Berlin who wants to be a sports reporter. Print and television. Christine Urath.
All right, here's slow motion now on Christine as she steps up into her double axel. With the arms go on the leg, taking off. Nice turning right there. Free, rather a wide free leg on the landing, and a very low position there. The back is down, but certainly not down out of where it should be. Very nice position. Ho-ho, and here's the first set of marks. 5.7s, 5.8s, straight across the board. Very good marks. I think marks that pulled her up over her own countrymen. So those are consistent, straight across the board marks. There's the second set of marks now for Christine Urath. 5.6s, 5.7s, and 5.8s. A 5.6, incidentally, from the U.S. judge. Once again, remember, it does not matter where the judge puts them in relationship to the six, but in relationship to each other. Incidentally, there is Elena Vodorezeva of the Soviet Union, 12 years old, obviously chewing gum like an American, but watching with the intent of her country. At least until Friday night, the reigning Olympic gold medal holder will be Austria's heroine, Trixie Schuber. And Trixie, it's nice to see you.
It's nice to be back here in Innsbruck.
You were the greatest school figure skater of all time. What do you think of the free skating here? What's your prediction about who's going to win?
Well, I think Dorothy will win because she has a very good position after the school figures and she's very strong in free skating too, and I hope she has very good nerves and I wish her very good luck.
Do you think she'll be able to hold those nerves together?
I hope so.
Trixie, you're beautiful as ever. It's great to see you. Good luck in your show skating. I know you're doing that now, and thanks for coming over and talking with us.
Thank you very much.
Dorothy Hamill warming up briefly on the ice prior to her short program performance. In a long warm-up, Dorothy had a tremendous fall.
One of those things that happens, maybe it's a good thing that it happened during the warm-up and got it out of her system. If she can just get over what she herself feels about the tenseness and tightness that comes to her before she skates, well, then I think she'll be able to be all right. The question is whether she stands up during this short program.
We'll be back in a minute.
Just one taste, and you know it.
Oh, I love it!
I knew it. I knew it.
There's just one word for beer, and you know it.
Three-time United States champion twice. Second in the world, Dorothy Hamill from the United States.
And you cannot believe the pressure that is right now on this young lady.
Skating to Seahawk by Korngold. Second after the compulsories.
First of all, an axel jump. Here it is. Nice arm movements. Good height. Good arm movements on the way out.
Beautiful. First
Now her
30
second
seconds.
move. Very difficult one. The double axel. Here it is. Nice and clean. This is the move she fell on in a warm-up earlier. Flying axel sit spin. Good girl. Nice position there. Little jump combination first. A double flip. Stepping up into a double toe loop. Look relaxed on that.
What a face. Cool. Beautiful.
Serpentine step combination right here. Little camel, little spiral in it. Now our layback. Nice back position there. Lovely back position there. Beautiful.
Like a music box.
Under control, completely under control, that spin. Very nicely done. And our final move now, a final combination. First a forward camel. Lay back again, assume to the side. Do a sit spin. Now change it, hold it. There it is. That's it. She did this very, very well. Very well.
19-year-old Dorothy Hamill.
Lovely position. She did pull it together. She did, and that will get her, I am sure, the mark that will take her one step closer to the Olympic gold medal, that bridge of gold that she's got across. Look at her, blow it. Look at her, just go at her arm. She knows it.
Carlo
She
Fassi,
knows it.
her coach.
She knows it.
Dr. Hugh
There she
Graham.
is with Carlo Fassi and
Dr. Frank Nelson getting a kiss.
Hugh Graham, the team managers from the U.S. Oh, brother, look at the smile now. It's that pressure is off. Very neat, very quiet. That's all that she had to do.
It's okay.
Look, did you hear her ask that? She said, it was okay, it was okay. She's asking.
Well, the nine folks across the way will tell the story. The 9 judges.
Well, that's not really important what they say. Right now is she did it for herself. She did overcome the problem. See, look at the smile on her face.
Let's listen in.
I have another one for tonight.
Dr.
Frank Nelson
of Tulsa, Dr.
Hugh Graham,
also of
Carlo
Tulsa.
Fassi teacher. And there
There
they
they
are.
are.
5/8 and 5/9, right across the board. 5/8 and 5/9. Remember, those are for the technical merit of those 7 moves. 7 moves. I think this is going to hold her, certainly hold her in first place. And for her, I don't know if that's good or bad, because sometimes she skates better under pressure, behind, and sometimes better ahead of the game.
All right, in the first set, 6 5/8 and 3 5/9 for technical merit from the 9 judges.
Oh, that is one relieved girl. Nearsighted, look at her having to squint there.
Riverside, Connecticut, 19-year-old, graduate of Colorado Academy, gourmet cook, and now smiling up at you, Richard. Squinting to see the marks when they come up on an overhead scoreboard here at Olympic Ice Stadium, built in 1964 for those games. Improved in the meantime, acoustics and lighting. And we hope our pictures coming back to you are as pleasant as the looks on these 2 faces. A little apprehensive.
There we are. Set of marks now.
A 6.
A 6 from the last judge from Italy. All the rest 5-9, 2-5-8 from judge number 4, which is from Japan. Judge number 5 from Holland, and judge number 7, Ralph Street from Canada. Very good mark. And boy, you can see a happy young lady right now.
How about you, Dick?
Squinting. Oh, I'm delighted. I'm so delighted. I can't see straight. Okay, let's go back and take a look at some of the slow motion of Dorothy as she steps up into this. I don't know whether it's a double or a single, but it looks like the double. Look at the strength and the power going up into that right there. Beautifully closed legs, and neatly opening them out as she lands and stretches back out. Very, very nice. Okay, here now is slow motion on Dorothy Hamill in that layback spin. Now, very nice style there. Watch her step into this now, and watch the solidity of the spin. The fact that it stays in one spot is centered. She goes into this back position. Beautiful arch on the back, the leg straight behind her. The leg behind her in a slightly attitude position. Not to the side, which would be wrong. Now, she stays very much in control here as she changes these arm positions, not losing the back position. Now, that's very good control on this. Look at this, even at this stage of the game. Totally different arm positions, but still maintaining layback position. Very, very lovely jump.
The following program is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports, the network of the Olympics.
It's the biggest weekend in many years in the Austrian Tyrol. From the little mountain villages and the cities, they have come to see the climax of the 12th Winter Olympics. Tonight they'll see Dorothy Hamill, far from her Connecticut home, going for a gold medal in women's figure skating. Dorothy is the leader, but 50% of the total mark will be determined tonight. This was her performance in the short program. A beautiful performance, and one that put her solidly in the lead. Dorothy Hamill, at age 19, was a happy girl. Will she be that way at the end of the evening? And what about the world champion, Diane Duluth, the Californian, skating for the Netherlands? In her short program, Diane was effective, technically good, but she was disappointed. She must go all out this time. And this is Rosie Mittermeier. She's won 2 gold medals in these Olympic Games already. One of them in the slalom, which took place just 2 days ago. The other, of course, had been in the downhill. Rosie Mittermeier goes for an unprecedented 3rd gold medal for a woman in one Olympics. And they'll douse her with champagne again if she does it. In the hills above Innsbruck at Eagles, the first 2 runs of the 4-man bobsled event. And while some reach for perfection, others take their first faltering turns on skis. Among them, our man Salinger, learning from champion Karl Schranz. The 12th Winter Olympic Games are brought to you by Cotton Incorporated, the fiber research and marketing company of the U.S. cotton producer. By the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more good years in your car. And by Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers throughout the country who invite you to test drive America's largest family of small cars. Nobody has a lineup like Chevrolet. What happens here tonight in Innsbruck must bring back memories of 8 years ago, of Grenoble, France, and the games when Peggy Fleming won her gold medal, the last American girl to achieve that great honor. Peggy Fleming, originally from Los Angeles, the daughter of a newspaper pressman, moved to Colorado, trained under Carlo Fassi. We first saw her at age 14, but this was her night of glory at Grenoble. She won the gold medal for the United States. It seems a certainty that Peggy Fleming is watching somewhere tonight, perhaps in her San Francisco home or wherever she is, to see if another American girl can achieve that triumph that she had 8 years ago in France. This was the graceful, beautiful style, almost balletic, of Peggy Fleming. The other girls skating tonight are a little different, but their talent is just as great. Hello again, I'm Jim McKay, and we kind of had one of our slower days yesterday in the Olympic Games, but it is really something what we're going to see tonight. I have told you what they're going to be. It's kind of a story of three women in great part, really. The story of Dorothy Hamill, of course, of Connecticut, trying to go for that gold medal in figure skating, and of the other girl from California skating for the Netherlands, Diane Duluth, the world champion, trying to come from behind and surpass Dorothy Hamill, and of Rosie Mittermeier going for that third gold medal. I can imagine their hometowns right now. The little town of Winkelmusalm in West Germany, just 2 miles from the Austrian border, is just about empty today. Everybody turned out, got into charter buses, and came down for perhaps the greatest event in the history of that village to see Rosie Mittermeier maybe win her third gold medal. In Greenwich, Connecticut, I have a feeling that cocktail party conversation has stopped right now, because this is when Dorothy Hamill of Riverside will have her big opportunity. And in Paramount, California, no doubt they're coming back from the beaches, but the surfboards are being put away quietly, because even though Diane Duluth skates for the Netherlands, to them, she's a California girl. So as I said, it's going to be a very, very big program ahead of us, with skating, with bobsledding, with ski racing, and yes, even our man Salinger. So stay with us. It's going to be good.
Cotton keeps America.
Check is already waiting in my office.
You don't really have to care about sports to appreciate what's happening in the ice arena here in Innsbruck tonight. Women's figure skating, of course, Hamill and Duluth coming, but right now, a 12-year-old Russian girl in her first Olympics. Let's go to Chris and Dick Button.
Thanks, Jim. The story here at the Ice Stadium tonight is the story of two great figure skaters, Dorothy Hamill of the United States and Diane Duluth, born and lives in the United States, but skates for Holland. But first, starting out this lovely evening is this tiny little girl, 12 years old, Elena Vodorezova of the Soviet Union. 5 feet tall, 101 pounds, giving her sweater to her coach, Stanislav Zhuk of the Soviet Union. And having watched her now for about 2 weeks, I can tell you she has not lost her childish ways, even though she's surrounded by coaches, trainers, advisors, because they know this is a little diamond in the rough. She has a lot of talent, and tonight she's going to skate to film music, folk melodies, as she says. And imagine at 12 years old, 8th in the European Championships. Started skating 6 years ago, and you might well imagine that she is the junior champion of the USSR. Here she is.
Elena Vodorezova skates with the coolness that only a 12-year-old can muster. And here she's gained the attention of the skating world by being the only skater able to do 3 triple jumps. Watch for them.
Another Olga Corbin, getting the crowd with her already.
A triple toe loop right there. And look at those jumps. Very, very nice. Double axel and a flying camel. with illusions at the end of it. Very nice, very nice. I might also add, Chris, that the Russians have not been strong in ladies' events, in the ladies' event up to this point, so they're particularly pleased to have this strong skater. I will also say that there are a horde of young skaters in the United States who are really superb, who have not had a chance to get into the Olympic Games because they have to go through a very long list of good skaters ahead of them. So it's an interesting comparison.
We think of young skaters, Dick, we can only...
Look at this, right there. Very nice double axel, double toe loop.
As you've often talked about Sonia Henne having won 3 gold medals, well, she finished last in 1924 at the age of 11, but came on 4 years later, 1928, to win her first gold.
Now, and interesting, this girl does a lot of good triple jumps. Look at this one here. Very, very nice turn. Slight, you know, bad uncontrol on the ending, but the revolution was certainly there. Certainly has marvelous control on her jumping position. She does look like a little filly. She's unstretched and unstyled, but that's the way it should be at this time. Getting the height that she is, the revolution that she does, being open in the air after completing the revolution before she lands. Double axel. Oh, and a spill there.
Good recovery.
Very good. Good recoveries happen when you're basically in good position. When you're out of position, and in the wrong basic position, then you have the kind of bad fall that really disrupts a program.
Tiny little skater with the pigtails. Elena Vodorezova, skating before over 14,000 people. The daughter of a one-time gymnast, her mother, and her father, a basketball player and coach. And the youngest of all the Olympic competitors has about 45 seconds left in her 4-minute program.
Very nicely proportioned girl. Double flip jump. She is very light on the ice. Now look at this combination. First an axel, loop, half loop, double salchow. Did marvelous triple jumps, With all the looseness that only a 12-year-old can have. Wait till the next years come and the pressure starts building on her.
Now greeted by her coach, Stanislav Zhuk, who was taking motion pictures of her entire performance. He's been assigned to Elena. And the carnations coming from out of the capacity crowd.
Incidentally, one of the interesting things about this is that she almost didn't make the team. The Russians just did not want to push her too soon or too hard, but she was so good in the Soviet Union that she got on the team nevertheless. Here she is now. She steps into that double salchow, triple salchow. Look at that, triple salchow. Very nice. Bad landing in the sense that she landed a little bit forward and the free leg was a little bit bent, but the height was there, the turn and the revolution was there, and that's the important thing. Look at this now. She steps a very beautiful open move into a flying camel. It's loose. It's with it as she goes into this Arabian illusion. And then jumps over into a forward sit spin. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And here's her marks, 5.7 and 5.8, right across the board with a 5.9 from the Italian judge. This is for technical merit. This will certainly pull her very much up over the 14th place position that she now has.
Stanisław Zhuk smiling through the tears as he greeted Elena, and these are the second set of marks.
And these are quite a bit lower than the first set, 5-7, 5-5, 5-7, 5-2 from judge number 7, Ralph McCreath of Canada, and he'll get a lot of whistles on this. 5-4 from the Italian judge that gave a 5-9 for technical merit, and I think that's not an unjustified mark, certainly for her in comparison as it relates to a 6. Where it does fall apart is that some of the earlier girls that we've seen have gotten very much higher marks than they deserve relative to this girl.
America, Chevrolet wants...
Performances, and what a night it is in Innsbruck, Austria. Not only the most important, we feel, but also the most beautiful, Dick Button, because there are two young ladies tonight, standing number 1, Dorothy Hamill, going for the gold, and a young lady that has defeated her a couple of times, skating for Holland, Diane DeLue, number 2.
And I think it's not only the most beautiful and exciting night here in Innsbruck from our point of view and from the audience here and the people in Innsbruck, but it's also the greatest single moment of pressure on anybody. And the competition here is between these two girls, and I've got to tell you, it is a load of pressure. It's an incredible thing for these girls as to how they have gotten themselves to this point, how they are adjusting themselves at this very moment while they're waiting this last 5, 10, 15 minutes before they skate. I've got to tell you from experience that that knife turns in the middle of the stomach. It goes. And you sit there saying to yourself, I don't have to do this. Why am I doing it? I'll never do it again. But there they are. And whether they can survive that knife turning is, of course, the question that we're going to see right now.
And, of course, on the bridge to gold, there's a great deal more than just the honor and glory of a gold medal. Because in the case of these two attractive young ladies, with ice shows watching them, I'm sure their entire future will be affected here. Great sums of money, I'm sure, at stake, depending upon how they skate tonight and how the judges judge them. Great ladies in the past have helped make this sport the most beautiful, I feel. In Olympic competition, it is certainly the oldest. And we can go way back, Dick, and you know about the evolution of this sport.
Well, it's been really glorious to see the change in the style and the development. The ladies have always been very special, and we've got a number of great ones to watch. Let's start.
In the 1920s, Teresa Well Blanchard of Boston demonstrated the style of skating then in existence. She told me she was marked down in a competition for doing a single salchow because the judge said it was unladylike. And from Norway came Sonja Henie, 3-time Olympic gold medal winner and 10 times world champion, a young lady who never let an opportunity go by without being theatrical and having enormous flair. And in 1948, Barbara Ann Scott of Canada won the first North American gold medal. She was precise, petite, never made a mistake, a China doll on the ice. And in 1956, Tenley Albright of Boston became the first American gold winner, an inventive skater, creative, very strong. And in 1960, Carol Heiss of New York followed with an athletic performance here at Squaw Valley. And in 1964, it was Holland's turn. Sjoukje Dijkstra won the gold medal here at Innsbruck. She was a powerhouse on the ice, not very artistic, but she certainly was strong.
And we come back now once again to Tenley Albright, America's first gold medal winner. She went on to become a surgeon, a doctor, practicing in the Boston area, but right now she's in Innsbruck watching the ladies' competition, and here she is with us. It's been 20 years since you won your gold medal.
And 24 since you won your gold medal.
But who's counting? Who's counting? It's
Not I if you don't.
All right. But it's been a long time, and you've had a chance to see a lot of skating in the meantime. What's the big change, or is there a change?
Oh, Dick, look at them at warm-up right now. Every single one of these girls is doing fast jumps with tremendous carry, and the way they come out of them is terrific. Only you used to do that.
That's not true. I remember the simple mazurka that you did that was the greatest jump I've ever seen.
Oh, boy.
And besides, you had more invention and more magnetism in your skating than I think 9 out of every other 10 skater that's ever existed. Tenley, it's great to talk to you and see you here at the Olympics.
Great to see you, and you don't have your Olympic pin on, so...
Thank you.
Here's one for you.
There you go.
This is the final 4-minute performance of 19-year-old Christine Erath of East Germany, resident of East Berlin. 4th in the competition. Just had an unfortunate fall.
And unfortunately, in addition to that, she's made several errors on her double and triple jumps. Watch this double axel. Again, the nice full revolution, but a wild, free-swinging leg as she lands. A trait that she's had for a long time that she's just not been able to break.
What a lonely spot, that ice during Olympic competition, Dick, the pressure on.
Combination now of split jumps, 1, double, 1.5 flip, double flip. Double Lutz jump. Watch as she steps into this butterfly right there, back spin, stepping into a camel spin. Watch the changing positions, lay back, the sit spin, change, and a holding camel at the end.
Christine Orath from East Germany, 4th in the competition. Behind Dorothy Hamill, Diane DeLue, along with Isabelle de Navarre.
An unfortunate performance here. She goes into the double loop jump, didn't get out, didn't even complete the double revolution, crossed her feet, and of course sat down. I think probably indicative of many of the double jumps, unfortunately for her in this performance. Well, here's the second set of marks. The first marks ranging from 5.6 to 5.7, that area. These marks somewhat higher, 5.7s, 5.8s, 5.7s, 5.6s, a 5.7, again from the Canadian judge, same as he gave her for technical merit. Not marks that are going to put her certainly into the top place or probably close to it. An unfortunate performance for Christine Orath.
What tension in the air, Dick Button here, as we await the confrontation, Dorothy Hamill and Diane DeLue. And what a joy to look back at the great lady figure skaters of the past, and then to see 12-year-old Elena Vodorezova do such a fantastic job.
Well, you know, it's marvelous, the contrast between Elena Vodorezova at 12, cool, loose, and with it. That'll change as time goes on, I assure you. But it's interesting also to remember that it was here in Innsbruck in 1964 that we saw Peggy Fleming as really a young filly. She was already the U.S. champion, but she hadn't yet developed the stretch or the style or the sophistication that she got within the very next years when she went on to win her gold medal at Grenoble in 1968. And of course, then the pressure was extraordinary. She finished skating and later on, back in the privacy of her room, broke into tears, not so much at having won the Olympic Games, but the release of all that pressure. It was a marvelous moment when she skated in Grenoble.
Doesn't seem like it was 8 years ago, but it was. So let's go back to the Stade de Glace in Grenoble.
Now a double flip. And again, a slight hesitation on the landing. Now watch this last combination coming up. Half loop. 1.5 double toe loop. Double toe loop. And a double salto that she unfortunately did again not make. This is not a great performance for Peggy. But there's our last move, a flying sit spin, a very nice one. And certainly a superb enough performance. Look at this final pull on that spin to hold her this title. There's no doubt about the question that that'll be a good enough performance to hold it, even though it was not her finest performance.
Certainly a golden moment in the history of the Olympic Games in Grenoble. Peggy Fleming, the gold medalist. And now, 8 years later, here at the beautiful ice stadium in Innsbruck, Austria, the same anticipation. There's even more drama here tonight because of the confrontation coming up between Diane DeLue and Dorothy Hamill. You can see it registered on the faces of the standing room only crowd here. Some of the faces we're familiar with, others not so familiar. But here in the crowd on the left, Mrs. Rune Arledge. And on Ann's left and on the right of your screen is lovely Susie Arledge, Rune's daughter. We've known her for a long time. And oh, how she's grown up in the 8 years since Grenoble and now Innsbruck. And I'm sure her friends back home in the States, representing West Germany, third in the standings. First after the compulsories, and then 11th in the short program, thus number 3.
Double axel, unfortunately, fell out of it, turning on almost a sitting position as she came out of it. Oh, and a very bad moment there, and that was not caused by anything that she did except to move too close to the hockey barrier. Tripped on it, something that happens occasionally. We saw it the other night, incidentally, with John Curry, although his was just a slight disturbance. He's not had a good performance so far. He's generally exceeded not to be very strong in the free skating. Does not have the choreography or the artistic temperament in free skating that we've seen in some of the other girls. Skating from one move to another. Not integrating her program as well as she should. Double toe loop. And a final move. Oops, another slight spill there at the end. Oh, a very poor performance for Isabelle de Navarre. This is, I'm afraid, going to knock her right out of any chance of hope for holding her third medal place. Here's where she ran into a problem earlier. Watch as she moves around the edge of the ice. She came too close right there. She stepped out, and the toe hit the edge of the barrier. That's the kind of thing that can happen to anybody, and really is just a piece of bad luck.
We'll report Isabel's marks in a moment.
When I first moved to...
Isabelle de Navarre of West Germany, who skated before, and her second set of marks averaged between 5.3 and 5.4s.
Now watch her step again into a double axel. Very nice one, very smooth landing. Lovely layback spin. Been skating with a great deal of feeling so far. Turn spiral. Split jump, double toe loop. A flying change sit. Axel. Split jump, one. Beautiful extension on that. Really, really good stretch. And her final move, a flying camel. Now watch her drop down, low position, tap the foot, and pull it right over into a back sit step. Very, very nice. Good show, good show.
Lovely and shocking pink, Wendy Burge of Garden Grove, California. Standing sixth after compulsories and the short program. It goes down to the far end now to get flower bouquet and thanking them with that very genuine wave.
You know, I must also say one thing, Chris, and that is in comparison to Elena Vodorezova. There's really no pressure on a 12-year-old. She's loose. she's with it. The pressure, though, is here on Wendy Burge after all of these years of training and getting into an Olympic Games, knowing that this is the time that she has to produce. And when she then skates well, as she did just now, it's a pleasure to see.
She's going to have a fragrant room back at Olympic Village with all those flowers. With the Mozartian theme, the young couple that present flowers to all the competitors here.
All right, here's slow motion now on Wendy Burge as she steps up into one of those axel moves, a double axel. Look at the height that she gets right there. Very nice closed legs. Completely turned as she comes out and comes on down. Now here are marks 5, 6, 5, 7s, 5, 6s, and 5, 5s primarily. The audience booing at the moment that they heard those, probably not thinking they were high enough. The reason why Elena Vodorezova got higher marks was because she did several triple jumps in her competition, and it was for that reason, that simple reason, that the judges gave her a higher mark on technical merit, which is what this mark represents.
Thank you.
Now here's slow motion on her final triple set of split jumps. Look at that, very, very nice Russian style split, so-called Russian style, because the legs are not turned under. The back leg is not turned under. It's straight out, toes, hands to the hose, to the toes. And here's the second set of marks now, a 5-8 from judge number 1. That's the Soviet judge. 5-7 from the United States judge. 5-6s, 5-5s, and the rest 1-5-5, and the rest 5-6s across the board.
You can almost feel the excitement building in that arena. 14,000 people and more jammed into the Olympia Ice Stadion. I think that's 14,000 there. We had 35,000 up at the giant slalom race. We'll be returning very shortly to see some of the Americans. Particularly, we had 20,000 at the bobsled and more thousands of people spread out at other events around Innsbruck. As we said, the important skaters are still to come. Remember, Dorothy Hamill and Diane DeLue are obviously the pivotal figures in the women's figure skating competition. Oh, also, don't forget that our man around the town of Innsbruck, Pierre Salinger, has finally gotten interested in winter sports. He's going to take a ski lesson, and you'll see it, given to him by champion Karl Schranz of Austria. So, the Winter Olympic Games go on. A big weekend and a big show here tonight with the best yet to come.